Okay, so this problem says we're going to deal with two fractions, 3/4 and 1/2. It says at lunchtime, a cafeteria served a total of 3/4 of a pot of chicken soup and a half a pot of onion soup. And they want to know how many pots of soup were served in all. So what I'm going to do is use different colors here. We'll use, let's say, red for the let's use green. And then red for the 1/2 pot of onion soup. Okay, so let me write it here with chicken soup in green, and it'll be 3/4. And onion soup will be red, onion, and that's 1/2 of a pot. Okay. And they want to know how much were served in all. Can I change that word to in total? So if we're going to find the total, we want to add. We want to add these two fractions, but I want to remind you, in fact, I'm going to write this down. Whenever we want to add or subtract fractions, we need to have the same denominator. To add or subtract. Need more room, sorry. To add or subtract fractions, the denominators have to be the same, the bottom. I just realized I could have written this with text. I'll do it next time. So we're going to take the green and the red fraction and find the same common denominator. Okay. Now, many of you guys can do this in your head, but this one's supposed to be a little bit easier, but I'm still going to write it down. Okay. Many of you probably already know that the lowest common denominator here is going to be 4. But let me just show you how we get this so that we can use this method when we have larger numbers. And a little bit more room is what I'm going to use here. So one of our denominators is 4. And you do this like on scratch paper, and my scratch paper is here on the whiteboard. But the multiples of 4 are 4 and then 8. I'm just adding 4 every time. Or 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 20 would come next, and then 24. I'll do one more after this, 24. Actually, that's far enough. And now I'm going to write down the multiples of 2. Well, that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm sorry, I can't write that fast. I can't write as fast as I can talk. 10. And I'm running out of room again. 12 would come next. 14, 16, 18, 20, 24. You don't normally have to go this far, especially when you practice these. You'll see you can probably do them in your head, but if you can't, go ahead and write them down. Now, what these multiples have in common is they both have a 24, they both have a 20, they both have a 16. Did I do something wrong there? 20? I guess not. They both have a 16. They both have a 12. Oh, I forgot 22. That's what I didn't write down. They both have a 12 and an 8. And they both have a 2. I'm sorry, they both have a 4. They both have a 4. So they have a lot of things in common, but we want the easiest thing to have in common, which is 4. And so for that reason, everything I wrote there with circles is just scratch work. So I'm going to erase that. That's why our common denominator is going to be 4. Okay? Let me say that another way. It's important to know why I'm using 4. All right. Like I said, I'm recording this, so it's okay if you didn't get a chance to copy this or write it. I'll post the link for it here in a few minutes. So I want both of my denominators to be 4. I'm going to erase these notes. Again, it'll be recorded, so you'll be able to see it later if you want. Let me just erase all this writing right now. Okay, and a little bit more. Okay, like I said, we want both of these denominators to be 4. The green one's already 4, but what we're going to do is multiply this red fraction, and I want you to listen and watch at the same time. I'm going to say something, but write something that looks a little bit different. I'm going to multiply this red fraction by 1. And let me do what I just said now. If I multiply this by 1, this 2 over 2 is really 1. Math is almost always about writing things in different ways. And that's just one. There are many ways to write 1, to write the number 1. When I do that, I have an easy multiplication problem. The top will be 1 times 2, and that's just 2. And the bottom will be 2 times 2, and that's 4. But this gives us a problem, an addition problem, a fraction problem that's way easier to do. Since our denominators are the same, or common, our answer's denominator is going to be 4. And our numerator at the top, we're just going to get by adding 3 plus 2. So 5/4 is our answer. And I want to say what I said earlier. 5/4 is one way to write the answer. And math is almost always about expressing things in different ways. Sometimes one way is easier than another. So in this problem, they said we could either write our answer as a mixed number or as a fraction or a whole number, okay, if it comes out to be a whole number. But we could write this fraction as a mixed number. Remember, we had a module that we did that with. And to do it, we would divide. We would use long division. So if I were to do long division here, 5 divided by, I'll put the 4 in blue. Of course, 4 goes into 5 once. And then when we multiply 4 times 1, we get 4. And then when we subtract, we get 1. I've made this in different colors because the one on top is not the same as the one on the bottom. The one on top is our whole number. And I kind of want to start here at the top and then work my way around clockwise. It's got a 3-part answer. The top part is first, the 1, that's our whole number. And then the red part comes next, the red 1, and then the 4. So 1 1/4 is a different way. These are both right in the box here. And so, like it said, we could write our answer as a fraction or as a mixed number. Mixed means it has a whole number part and a fraction part. So again, different ways to express the same thing. Sometimes they'll tell you which way they want you to do. Sometimes they'll tell you to do either one. And sometimes there's only one way to do it. I want to emphasize the word sometimes. So first of all, I'm going to save this. And I want you guys to go ahead and start signing in now. And I'm going to turn off the recording right about now. Let me see if I can do that.